just rode through the Sarasota Crew B in the last 500 meters to claim the bronze medal. Sarasota Crew and Oars rounding out the field.
We'll head back up to the start with David. Okay, this is our first semifinal of the day. These are the boys freshman fours. Well-attended event, so we have semifinals. Top three will go to the grand final later on today to race for the Florida State Championship. Two boats in the center of the race course have pulled out to a pretty big advantage here at almost 200 meters in, and they are dead even. There's no discernible difference in speed between Miami Beach and Lyman. Maybe Lyman with one seat now on Miami Beach. Those two boats are clear of the rest of the field. One seat or two seats of open water from Miami Beach back to your third place Gainesville in lane 5. Behind Gainesville, it is very close between the boat in lane 6 from St. John's Country Day and the red boat in lane 2 from Edgewater. It's 300 meters in for your leaders, which are Lyman High School. Lyman High School with about a seat on Miami Beach. Again, both of these boats still clear of the rest of the field. Gainesville still a solid third place, but about half a length open water behind Miami Beach. St. John's is dropping off just a little bit as Edgewater comes up. The other boat in this race is Belen Jesuit. They're all the way up in lane 1 in a gold boat. They're starting to find a little bit more speed. I'm seeing their bow kind of move up a little bit. But it should be shape up to be a decent race here for third place, as these two boats in front are really running away with this thing at 500 meters. 500 meters in for your two leaders, and now it's dead even again between Lyman and Miami Beach. Behind them, it's a boat and a half open water back to Gainesville. Gainesville is starting to get pressed. There is an overlap between Gainesville and Edgewater now, so I think that's where the racing's really going to be in this one. And right at the 500-meter mark, Miami Beach made a move. They now have almost a half a length advantage over Lyman up front. Also going to take this one to the halfway point. We've almost gotten there already. These boys really moving well for freshmen. You wouldn't know it. It's Miami Beach. They're going to have the lead at the halfway point. Their advantage is about a half a length over Lyman. Lyman with two boat lengths open water back to third place Gainesville. Gainesville for as they come down the race course. The stroke man is on the starboard side. Stroke man is on the starboard side. Then there is a bucket on the port side, and then the bow man is also on the starboard side. At halfway, Gainesville has a full-length advantage, maybe a seat of open water to Edgewater. So it's Edgewater trying to get into this thing with Gainesville and see if they can't move into the grand final, but Gainesville's been in that third-place position all the way down. So I'll give it to you at the finish line, Miami Beach in front of Lyman, Gainesville, and Edgewater.
Thank you, David. We're well into the middle part of this race. Coming up on the last 500, this is the semifinal number 1 for the boys freshman 4. So the top 3 crews will progress to this afternoon's A final for the medals. They want to try and get out there and secure a nice top 3 finish to make sure they get into the final, but they also don't want to expend too much energy. Right now they've spread out pretty well. It is Miami Beach out in front, Lyman in second, and Gainesville in third. All open water margins right now, but that race is not over until we've run it. Edgewater is still there, about a seat or two of open, just trailing Gainesville. Going to have to put a little extra energy in it if they want to get back onto terms with Gainesville. For right now, it continues to be Miami Beach out in front by a little bit of open water, Lyman in second, and Gainesville in third. And if it continues this way, those will be the 3 crews progressing to the medal round. For those of you unfamiliar with the 2 different finals, we have a grand final and a petite final, or a B final. There will be different terms used throughout today, but those are the breakdowns for the 2 finals that we run. Grand final being 1st through 6th place, petite final 7 through 12. We're into the red buoys for the last 250 meters, and it is still Miami Beach. It does look like Lyman is going to throw in a little bit more energy here right at the end to try and see if they can get an overlap back. It is Miami Beach out in front, Lyman in second. And back there, Edgewater is starting to try and creep up on Gainesville. Gainesville's going to have to hold their composure. Gainesville has shortened up a little bit, but is still maintaining their lead. They need to keep that third place finish if they want to get into the A final. Out in front, it is Miami Beach rowing very well for a freshman crew. It's putting their bow out in front by open water, and they will cross the line first, make their way into the A final. Behind them will be Lyman High School, securing a second place finish and a spot in the final. And we're into the last 10 strokes, and it looks like Gainesville is going to put in enough energy just to hold off Edgewater and make their way into the grand final with the first two crews. We've got 5 more strokes to go. And there it is. So Miami Beach, Lyman, and Gainesville just ahead of Edgewater, Belen, and St. John's.
We'll head back up to David at the start for the second semifinal. Okay, thanks, Matt. Set up here for the second semifinal of the boys' freshman fours, and we are just trying to get perfect alignment. We're very close. So what the aligners do is they work with these stake boat holders to pull in or push out these boats as they're holding the sterns off of these stake pods, and that's how we get a perfect start up here. The green flag does look like it's up, so we're going to get this thing kicked off very shortly. And top 3 will go to the finals, just like the previous semifinal. In lane 1, we have Oars. Lane 2, Miami Rowing Club, or Rowing Center. Lane 3, Stewards. Lane 4, Sarasota Crew. Lane 5, Plant. And lane 6, Jacksonville Episcopal. Are being pulled, so you're going to see them leave the block 15 seconds or less. We will have the second semifinal on the race course, and we will have, in about 5.5 minutes, 3 more boats in the grand final later on. Red flag is down. We have a start. Boys freshman 4, semifinal 2. Rowing at 42 strokes a minute, your early leader, Sarasota Crew, in lane 4, in a blue boat. They have just a slight advantage over the boat all the way up in lane 2, which is MRC. MRC right in the mix there, down about 1 seat on Sarasota Crew. Third place crew is too close to call between Oars and the boat from Stewards. So very bunched up here. The boats in lanes 5 and 6 are too close to call between Plant and Jacksonville Episcopal, but they are off the pace of these 4 boats out in front. 250 meters in, it's still Sarasota Crew by 1 seat over MRC. And it is too close to call as the bows come into view a little bit better for me between Stewards and Oars for third place. I'm going to give it to Stewards. They only have a 1-seat advantage for third place. Again, top 3 will be in the grand final. The leader of this race is MRC up in lane 2. They're in a white boat with dark blue blades. They have about a 2-seat advantage right now on Sarasota Crew, your early leader. Sarasota Crew in a blue boat with white blades has a full-length advantage on your third-place crew from Stewards. Stewards is in between MRC and Sarasota Crew as they approach 500 and is rowing in a boat with white blades. Stewards at 500 meters is the boat from Oars in lane 1. They are in a dark blue boat. It's got some orange lettering on it, and the blue, white, and orange oars of Orlando Area Rowing Society. They have open water back to 5th place Plant. So it's starting to space out a little bit here. Again, good race up front between the 2 crews out in front, and then behind those 2 crews, also some connection there for the 3rd place spot. which would be a spot in the grand final. So we're approaching halfway, and that's where we will end up leaving them off. It is a deck advantage out front for MRC over Sarasota Crew. Sarasota Crew in second place, 3 seats open water back to third place Stewards. And Stewards has a full length advantage on oars, so that bow ball of oars is just touching the tip of the stern of Stewards for third place. So I'm going to give it to you at the finish line with MRC in front of Sarasota Crew, Stewards, and oars.
Thank you, David. As these crews approach the last 500, it continues to be MRC out in front. Sarasota Crew in second, and Stewards Foundation in third. This is the second semifinal of the boys freshman 4. Top 3 crews will continue on to this afternoon's final and join the top 3 crews from the previous semifinal. Again, they want to make sure that they get their spot there, not use up too much energy. But right now it looks like there's a good battle going on. It looks like Sarasota Crew has eaten into MRC's lead, and right now MRC only has about a half a length with 500 meters to go. This is the top 3 crews that will make it into the final, but it is going to be a good battle there between, looks like, is that Stewart and Oars right now. Stewards Foundation and Oars right behind there are going to be battling it out. There is overlap for third place. So out in front, it is MRC continuing to lead by a half a length. Sarasota Crew making a charge to see if they can't put their nose out in front. Those 2 crews have open water on the third place crew, which is currently Stewards Foundation, but Oars is not out of it just yet. They are into the last 250 as they approach, go from yellow buoys to red. The first one into the red buoys right now is MRC over there in that white boat. Just behind them is Sarasota Crew. Blue boat, white blades. 3 boats to go. We've got less than a minute left in this race, this semifinal number 2 for the boys freshman 4. Again, all important third place is at stake right now, and it looks like Oars is making the charge. Oars over in the far lane in the blue boat with the dark unis and the orange stripe. They are eating into Stewards Foundation's lead. Stewart is fighting to hold them off. It continues in the lead to be MRC and Sarasota Crew. Should have the top 2 spots and a direct route to the final, but behind them, Stewards Foundation has answered Oars' challenge, and they are continuing to keep that third place position. It is in the last 10 strokes going to be MRC crossing the line first, making their way to the grand final for the medal round. In second place, bow to stern on them, will be Sarasota Crew. But for third place, right now, it is Stewards Foundation by about 2 seats. And just in their final sprint, they are just pulling away to about a half-length lead. So it will be MRC, Sarasota Crew, and Stewards Foundation into the A final, with Oars, Plant, and Jacksonville Episcopal into the Petite.